Mary, what does no cap, this is bussin, low-key mid though mean? Say it again. No cap, this is bussin, low-key mid though. Okay, so no cap means honestly, truly, not lying. Bussin means extremely good, usually about food. Low-key means slightly, quietly, in a subtle way. Mid means average, mediocre, not that impressive. And though is just though. So the full sentence is, honestly, this is extremely good, but slightly average though. Which makes almost no logical sense. But which appears 3,000 times in the comments of a cooking video I just watched. Welcome to Modern English, and welcome to the episode.
I'm Albert.
I'm Mary, LeapTalk English, and today we are doing something we have never done before on this podcast. We are leaving the world of formal English, of B2 grammar and careful vocabulary, and we are going somewhere that no English classroom ever takes you.
The comment section, the group chat, the TikTok caption, the YouTube reply, the Instagram story, the place where English learners, even very good ones, arrive and find themselves completely lost despite years of study.
Because this English, Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang, internet language, the fast-moving vocabulary of social media, follows completely different rules from the English you were taught. It is not wrong English. It is a different system, with its own logic, its own grammar, its own rhythm.
And today, we learn it. 8 words, demonstrated in real conversation first, explained after, used in context, and given a verdict. Is this word safe to use yourself, or is it one to understand but not produce?
Because that distinction, knowing something versus using it yourself, matters enormously with slang. The wrong word in the wrong context makes you sound more out of touch than not knowing it at all.
8 words, real conversation, verdicts. Word tour at the end, but different today. Today the word tour is the whole episode. Let's go. Word 1, no cap.
Word 1. Albert, tell me something true. Something you genuinely believe, but say it the way a 20-year-old would say it online.
Okay. LeapTalk English is the best English podcast available right now. No cap.
And what does no cap mean?
It means I am not lying. I am being completely honest. No cap is the opposite of cap, which means a lie, an exaggeration, a fake claim.
Where does it come from?
It comes from African American Vernacular English, AAVE, and specifically from the phrase don't cap, meaning don't lie or don't exaggerate. It entered mainstream internet English through hip-hop culture and then exploded through social media.
And how is it used?
2 ways. As a standalone phrase at the end of a sentence. This is the best film I've seen this year, no cap, which means I genuinely mean that, I am not exaggerating. And as a question, no cap, which means are you serious? Are you telling the truth?
Show me the question version.
Okay, I just got tickets to see my favorite artist perform live.
No cap?
No cap.
And that exchange means, really? Are you serious? Yes, completely serious.
And the word cap alone is also used. If someone says something unbelievable and you think they are lying, you say cap or that's cap, meaning that's a lie.
Verdict. Is no cap safe to use yourself?
Yes, this one has crossed into fully mainstream. It is understood by almost everyone under 40 in English-speaking contexts. It appears in news headlines, in brand social media, in conversations between people who have never watched a TikTok in their lives. If you use it, it lands. It does not sound forced.
One thing to know, it is purely informal. It would be extremely strange in a professional email, but in a casual conversation, a group chat, a social media comment, completely natural.
Word 2, mid. Word 2, Mary, describe the last film you watched, but describe it as a Gen Z commenter would.
It was fine. Like, good trailer, terrible third act. The whole thing was kind of mid.
And mid means?
Average, mediocre. Not bad enough to be genuinely bad, not good enough to be worth praising. The middle, the unremarkable center of a spectrum.
And this is a fascinating word because it is doing something very specific linguistically. It is filling a gap. In standard English, we have good and bad, and we have qualifiers, fairly good, not bad, so-so, average. But none of those have the dismissive energy of mid.
Average sounds neutral. Mid sounds like a verdict, like the person considered it carefully and concluded, this thing does not deserve my enthusiasm. Show me the difference. Standard English, the food was okay. Not amazing, not terrible. Gen Z version, the food was mid.
Same assessment, completely different energy. Mid carries a slight disappointment, a slight, I expected better, which okay does not.
And it can be used for almost anything. Films, music, food, restaurants, outfits, ideas. That plan is mid. The new album is mid. Mid-haircut, honestly.
You can even use it as a noun. That party was a mid. Or intensify it. That was peak mid, meaning that thing was the absolute perfect example of being unremarkable.
Peak mid is advanced, but worth knowing when you see it.
Verdict. Safe to use?
Yes, with awareness of context. Mid is now mainstream enough that using it does not sound forced, but it carries a dismissive tone, so be careful who you use it about. Calling something your friend made mid might land badly. It is a word for things, not usually for people's efforts.
Word 3. Rizz.
Word 3, and this one, Mary and Albert both pause, is the word of the last 2 years, possibly the defining slang term of this generation.
Rizz.
Rizz. Demonstrate it in a sentence.
He walked into the room and immediately everyone was looking at him. The man has Rizz.
And Rizz means?
Charm. Natural charm. The effortless ability to attract people, romantically or socially, without obvious effort. It comes from the word charisma, specifically from the middle syllable. Charisma becomes Rizz.
And it has grammar, which is one of the things that makes it interesting.
It does. You can have Rizz. She has Rizz. You can Rizz someone up. He rizzed her up, meaning he used his charm on her. You can be rizzed. I was fully rizzed. There is even an adjective, rizzy, though that one is slightly niche.
And there are levels. W-Rizz, exceptional charisma. L-Rizz, very poor charisma. Someone who consistently fails to make a good impression. Unspoken Rizz, charm that works without words, just through presence and confidence.
That last one, unspoken Rizz, became enormous after an interview where a celebrity was described as having it, and suddenly everyone was either claiming they had it or being told by the internet they did not.
And there is a verb form too, to rizz someone. He rizzed the entire room. He charmed everyone present.
Verdict. Safe to use?
Yes, but carefully. Rizz is fully mainstream. Oxford Dictionary named it Word of the Year not long ago, which tells you how far it has traveled. But the romantic connotation is still there. Saying someone has Rizz in a professional context would be strange. In a casual, social context, completely natural.
And knowing what it means is essential. It appears constantly in comments, in captions, in reaction videos. You will encounter it daily in modern English content.
Word 1, no cap.
Word 4, 2 words, because they work as a pair and one without the other is only half the picture. Lowkey and Highkey.
Low-key, quietly, subtly, slightly, in a way you are not fully admitting. High-key, openly, intensely, obviously, without reservation.
Show me both in the same context.
Okay, topic, a film that everyone says is bad, but you secretly enjoyed.
I low-key loved that film. Like, I know it got bad reviews. I know it is objectively not great. But low-key, it was exactly what I needed.
And now, a film you have no mixed feelings about.
I high-key loved that film. No mixed feelings. Completely openly. I will defend it.
The difference, low-key signals some self-awareness about the opinion, a slight embarrassment. I know this might not be the cool thing to say, but high-key signals full confidence in the opinion. No apology, no hedging.
And this is what makes them useful as a learner, because English often requires you to signal how confident you are in a claim, and low-key and high-key do this in a very natural, modern way.
Standard equivalence, low-key is close to quietly, slightly, secretly, if I'm honest. High-key is close to really, genuinely, openly, completely.
But neither of those carries the same conversational tone. I quietly enjoyed that film. Sounds strange. I low-key enjoyed that film. Sounds completely natural in modern informal English.
Verdict?
Both are fully safe and mainstream. These two have been in use long enough that they no longer feel like slang. They feel like regular informal English vocabulary. Learners at B2 level should know both and feel comfortable using them in casual conversation and informal writing. Word 5. And this one has a full grammatical structure. It is not just a word, it is a phrase, and it works in a very specific way. Understood the assignment. Demonstrate it. Did you see what she wore to the event? Full vintage look, perfectly accessorized, hair completely on point. She understood the assignment.
And what does it mean?
It means she knew exactly what was needed and delivered it perfectly. She read the situation, understood what was required, and executed it completely.
Where does it come from?
From the literal idea of a school assignment, a task with specific requirements. Understood the assignment became slang for anyone who read the room perfectly and delivered exactly what was needed. It is a compliment for precision, for reading a moment correctly.
And it is specifically used for someone who got it exactly right, not someone who tried hard, someone who succeeded precisely. The achievement is in the accuracy, not the effort.
You can also use the negative. Did not understand the assignment, meaning they completely misread what was needed and got it wrong, usually said with some amusement.
Example?
Everyone else wore black tie. He showed up in jeans. Did not understand the assignment.
And there's an intensified version, fully understood the assignment, for when someone did not just get it right but exceeded expectations.
Verdict? Safe to use?
Yes, this phrase is now mainstream and widely recognized. It works in captions, in comments, in casual spoken conversation. It also works as a compliment in slightly more elevated informal contexts, like telling a friend they nailed a presentation. You fully understood the assignment. It lands warmly.
Word 7. And this one is interesting because it started as a playful insult and became something people apply to themselves affectionately.
Delulu.
It is short for delusional, meaning someone who believes something unrealistic, especially about a romantic situation or about their own prospects or chances. Demonstrate it. He replied to my story after 3 weeks of silence. I know, I should move on, but the way he reacted to it, I'm delusional, but I think there's still something there.
And in that sentence, I am Delulu is being used with self-awareness. The person knows their thinking might be unrealistic. They're acknowledging it, and then continuing the delusion anyway.
Which is what makes it warm rather than harsh. When someone calls themselves Delulu, they're being self-deprecating, funny, aware of their own wishful thinking.
When someone else calls you Delulu, it is closer to a gentle reality check. Babe, you are being Delulu means, I love you, but that is not realistic.
And there is a related phrase, Delulu is the solulu, meaning being delusional is the solution, a humorous celebration of staying positive and hopeful even when the evidence suggests you should not be.
That one is very online, very Gen Z, and slightly ironic, but you will see it constantly in comment sections. Verdict? Safe to use? With awareness. Delulu is widely understood and increasingly mainstream, but it has romantic connotations that make it slightly niche. Use it in context involving hopes, expectations, and slightly unrealistic optimism, and it lands perfectly. Use it randomly, and it can sound forced.
Word 6. And this one, unlike most slang, is actually describing a real cultural experience that most people recognize immediately when they hear it. Brain rot.
Define it first.
Brain rot refers to two connected things. First, the state of consuming so much low-quality, overstimulating, or mindless internet content that your ability to focus on anything else feels reduced. Second, the content itself that causes this state. Absurd, chaotic, fast, low-stakes content that the brain processes at high speed without retaining anything.
And the Oxford English Dictionary actually made brain rot their word of the year in 2024, which tells you how far this one has traveled from internet slang into mainstream recognition.
Show me how it is used.
2 ways. As a state, I've had serious brain rot today. 4 hours of short videos and I can't focus on anything. And as a description of content, that TikTok is pure brain rot. No meaning, no point, just chaos. And I watched it 7 times.
And the interesting thing about brain rot as a term, it is used with a strange mix of self-awareness and affection. People describe content as brain rot not as a pure insult, but sometimes as a compliment. This is certified brain rot, can mean this is gloriously chaotic and I love it.
Which makes it context dependent. The tone tells you whether it is criticism or celebration.
Verdict? Safe to use?
Yes, this is now fully mainstream, as confirmed by its dictionary recognition. It is used by people of all ages to describe the experience of excessive social media consumption. It works in casual conversation, in writing, in social media captions. And most people, learner or native speaker, immediately understand what you mean.
Word 7. And this one is interesting because it started as a playful insult and became something people applied to themselves affectionately.
Delulu.
It is short for delusional, meaning someone who believes something unrealistic, especially about a romantic situation or about their own prospects or chances. Demonstrate it. He replied to my story after 3 weeks of silence. I know, I should move on, but the way he reacted to it, I'm delusional, but I think there's still something there.
And in that sentence, I am Delulu is being used with self-awareness. The person knows their thinking might be unrealistic. They're acknowledging it, and then continuing the delusion anyway.
Which is what makes it warm rather than harsh. When someone calls themselves Delulu, they're being self-deprecating, funny, aware of their own wishful thinking.
When someone else calls you Delulu, it is closer to a gentle reality check. Babe, you are being Delulu means, I love you, but that is not realistic.
And there is a related phrase, Delulu is the solulu, meaning being delusional is the solution, a humorous celebration of staying positive and hopeful even when the evidence suggests you should not be.
That one is very online, very Gen Z, and slightly ironic, but you will see it constantly in comment sections. Verdict? Safe to use? With awareness. Delulu is widely understood and increasingly mainstream, but it has romantic connotations that make it slightly niche. Use it in context involving hopes, expectations, and slightly unrealistic optimism, and it lands perfectly. Use it randomly, and it can sound forced.
Word 8. And this one comes from gaming, but it has left gaming so thoroughly behind that most people who use it now have never thought about where it comes from.
NPC.
NPC stands for non-player character. In video games, an NPC is a background character controlled by the computer, not by a human player. They move in predictable patterns. They say the same things repeatedly. They do not respond authentically to what is happening around them. They are just part of the scenery.
And in internet slang, NPC describes a person who seems to be going through life without independent thought, following a script, doing what is expected without questioning it, reacting to situations in pre-programmed, predictable ways.
Show me how it is used.
2 ways. As a description, he just agreed with everything his manager said without forming his own opinion, full NPC behavior. And as a self-description, usually as a joke. I woke up, made coffee, went to work, came home, watched something. I am literally an NPC today.
And there is a related internet trend, the NPC trend, where content creators literally act like NPCs on camera, speaking and looping phrases, moving mechanically, saying the same things on repeat, which went viral specifically because it highlighted how recognizable that behavior is.
And the opposite, main character energy, means someone who feels like the protagonist of their own life, confident, interesting, self-directed, the opposite of an NPC.
Verdict, safe to use?
Yes, with confidence. NPC has moved completely into mainstream informal English. Using it in a casual conversation that was total NPC behavior is immediately understood. It is also useful for self-deprecating humor when you are going through the motions. I am in full NPC mode today. Very relatable, very current.
8 words. No cap, mid, Rizz, Lowkey, and Highkey. Understood the assignment? Brain rot, Delulu, NPC.
And before we go, a note about slang in general, because there is a right way and a wrong way to bring these words into your English.
The right way, understand them thoroughly before using them. Know the context, know the tone, know whether you are complimenting, criticizing, or doing something more nuanced. Because slang used correctly signals fluency. Slang used incorrectly signals the opposite.
The wrong way, forcing them, using them in inappropriate contexts, cramming 3 slang words into a sentence because you learned them. This meeting is low-key mid, no cap in a professional email is not a demonstration of modern English. It is a demonstration of misunderstanding when slang is appropriate.
Slang is a register, like formal English is a register, and fluency in slang means knowing when to use it, not just knowing what the words mean.
And the test, does a native speaker use this word in this context? If yes, it probably works. If you have never heard a native speaker use it in that context, hold it back, understand it, wait until the right moment, and deploy it then.
One right use of a slang word lands perfectly. 6 forced uses in the wrong context makes the whole thing worse.
Use carefully, land perfectly.
Word tour.
Today's word tour is different because the 8 words we covered are the word tour. So instead, we give you the 8 verdicts one final time, plus one extra thing about each word that we did not mention in the main conversation.
No cap, fully mainstream, safe to use, purely informal. Extra thing, cap as a standalone word meaning a lie has actually entered some spoken informal English beyond just online. You may hear people say that's cap in real conversation.
Mid, dismissive verdict, use about things, not people's efforts, fully safe. Extra thing, mid can be intensified. Certified mid means something is definitively, officially mediocre. Peak mid means it is the ultimate example of being unremarkable.
Rizz, mainstream, romantic connotation, use in casual contexts. Extra thing, there is a verb. To rizz someone up means to actively charm them. He rizzed her up with one conversation is a complete sentence in modern informal English.
Lowkey and Highkey, both fully mainstream, great for signaling confidence levels and opinions. Extra thing, you can stack them. Lowkey, Highkey obsessed with this song is understood as, I know it sounds contradictory, but I am more obsessed than I want to admit publicly.
Understood the assignment? Compliment for precision. Works in captions and casual speech. Extra thing, you can shorten it online to just understood as a reaction to something impressive. One word, immediate meaning, very current.
Brain rot, word of the year 2024, fully mainstream, used with ironic affection. Extra thing, certified brain rot is a specific phrase used to describe content that is so absurd and mindless it almost feels like an achievement. It is a strange compliment.
Delulu, romantic connotations, self-deprecating use warmest, understand before using. Extra thing, Delulu era is a phrase meaning a period of time when someone is in a state of hopeful unrealism. I am in my Delulu era means I have decided to believe the best possible outcome is coming regardless of evidence.
NPC, fully mainstream, great for self-deprecating humor. Opposite is main character. Extra thing, main character energy is the positive opposite of NPC behavior. Describing someone as having main character energy means they move through the world with confidence and self-direction. It is a strong compliment.
8 words, 8 verdicts, 8 extra things, and 1 rule. Understand thoroughly before using. Land it perfectly when you do.
I'm Albert.
I'm Mary, LeapTalk English. Thank you for listening and for keeping up with English, even the part nobody teaches in class. See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.